Yo, what's up everybody? Eyecee here and welcome to another NBA video. This one is for October 31st, 3-game slate. Apologies for the late video. It should have been up a lot sooner, but yeah, I got a little bit busy and it's only a 3-game slate, so I decided to just push it back till now. There was also some injury news that I wasn't sure about, so it didn't really make sense. Alas, we're here. I have a video ready for you guys. I got a spreadsheet. I got some plays I got ready and all that. So without any further ado, before I get started, without any further ado, thank you to all the people that have recently subscribed, all you guys that have been commenting, messaging me on Twitter. I appreciate all you guys, man. Thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. You guys are the reason why I do this. All the people that have been messaging me Twitter that they won money, I love you guys, man. You guys make me super happy. That's what I do this for. I'm trying to help people win money. I'm providing free content, free information. I'm not charging anybody for it. It's free information, which is the best kind. So take it however you want. But this is me. I do NBA. I've been watching NBA for many, many years. I've been playing NBA DFS for 5 years. I've been very profitable the past 2 years. And I've just decided with all the time I spent on the NBA and following the news that I might as well just make content and help other people out. So that's why I do this. So yeah, without any further ado, let's get into this slate. Sorry, I lied again. Before we do, if you're new to the channel and you like anything I have to say and you don't mind subscribing a fellow brother out, just hit that subscribe button, man. I really appreciate it. Thanks. Now, with all of that said, my favorite plays. The first game of the night, we have Miami versus Atlanta. We saw this game a couple of days ago. And honestly, my favorite play on the Miami Heat side would be Bam Bam Adebayo. Big Bam Bam is one of my favorite plays since the preseason. He has really come into his own with no Whiteside, and he getting the reins to the center spot here. Between him and Myers Leonard, they've been alternating at the 4 and 5 spot, but Bam has been pretty consistent to say the least. 7,600 DraftKings dollars is not a bad price at all. Someone I could definitely get myself going to, or see myself going to a lot today on the slate. I might not be playing Jokic all that much. I might not be playing some of these other guys, but Bam Bam is someone I definitely will be playing. He is power forward eligible on DraftKings, which is really good. It really helps us get some of these other big guys in there. So Bam is probably my favorite play on the Miami Heat. Aside from Bam, the second favorite play I have on the Miami Heat today is Jimmy Butler. 8,200. Price has gone up a little bit. Should be in a better spot here. It did show that he had a very good start to the game, but as the game progressed, he kind of got a little bit less and less involved. The game was kind of getting out of hand for the Hawks, so I can see that's being a reason why. However, Jimmy Butler at 8,200, he should be seeing around the same amount of minutes. And honestly, he didn't do too bad. He was just a couple of shots away from really smashing his value. So he's in a good spot here, a good matchup here, and I could see him doing well. The only thing that really worries me about Jimmy Butler is what we saw in preseason, where he wasn't really involved in the offense for the first 3 quarters, or at least for the first 3 quarters of his playing time. And then towards the end, as he was going to be taken off, he really took over the game. That's pretty much what we're going to be seeing from the Heat in general. Butler is going to be closing out the games, and he's going to want his guys to really get him to the end of the game so he can close it out for them. But one of my favorite players in general on the slate tonight is Kendrick Nunn. I really love this kid. He's averaging 17.5 shots per game, and last game was the first game where he had a underwhelming performance. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't good, and it was the first game with Jimmy Butler back, so I look to put all that stuff behind me and pick Kendrick Nunn tomorrow at 5,600. He's cheaper than Dragic and Hero, both of who are also very viable plays at the guard position for the Heat. But Kendrick Nunn starting, he's seeing relatively more minutes, and he has a safer floor in my opinion with a decent upside. Tyler Hero would have the most upside. Dragic would be the safest play. But Kendrick Nunn is a mixture of both, and this is the reason why I'm really going with him. Tyler Hero got 16 free throws last game. It's not sustainable. I don't think that happens. I know it doesn't happen every single game, but it definitely doesn't happen again today that soon. Dragic, 5,800, not that badly priced, but there are some Denver guys that are priced cheaper than these guys. They're going to be getting minutes as a starter that I'd much rather go to, but definitely considering these guys. And then honorable mention to Myers Leonard. I don't know why people really hate Myers Leonard or what's wrong with people, but Myers Leonard, going back to his Portland Trailblazer days last season, was someone that was coming off the bench with Zach Collins, and between him and Zach Collins, either one of these guys are performing on a nightly basis. Now he's on the Heat. He's playing the 4 or the 5, whatever the coach decides. I think he's at the 5 now. But he's definitely someone that can smash value at 3,400 like he did the other day. He got upwards of 24 minutes which was great to see. I don't know how much Kelly Olynyk's going to be involved in this offense as of this moment. He has been hit or miss, and he hasn't been doing good the last few days. So Myers Leonard is a safer bet in my opinion, but Kelly Olynyk is also an option I would consider because he does have the upside. It's just the floor is really low with him right now. But Myers Leonard, he's starting. He's getting good amount of minutes. The floor is relatively safe, and the ceiling is there too. So those are the guys I like on the Miami Heat side. On the Atlanta Hawks side, my favorite play in general is John Collins. Trae Young's out. His usage is going to go through the roof. 8,300 is very cheap for John Collins. I will be getting to John Collins a lot. Aside from John Collins, my favorite play on the slate is DeAndre Bembry. It does not matter whether DeAndre Hunter plays or does not. I'm going to be playing a lot of DeAndre Bembry tomorrow. Going back to preseason, whenever Trae Young wasn't on the court, he was always used as a prime or secondary ball handler without Trae Young. Even with Trae Young, he was often given the playmaking responsibilities, but obviously with Trae Young there, you're not going to do the bulk load of that. But Trae Young's out of the equation, so DeAndre Bembry's usage should be going up. The ball should be in his hands more. He should be getting more minutes, and he should be in the starting lineup now, which makes me like him a lot. The other guy I like here is DeAndre Hunter, but that all depends on if he plays or if he doesn't play. If he does play, I like him. If he doesn't play, I like Cam Reddish. Both of these guys are similarly priced. You're going to be seeing the same amount of minutes. They have similar upsides, whereas I would actually say Hunter is a little bit more safer in the upside and the floor. Cam Reddish still has a lot more room for improvement. DeAndre Hunter seems like a more mature player, but both of these guys could go off. But Cam Reddish in particular, I like if DeAndre Hunter is not playing. The other guy I'll be giving honorable mention to is Jabari Parker here at 4,300. He's coming off the bench, and he's been seeing around 22 minutes. Without Trae Young, he should be seeing a little bit more usage, and he is in play for me. I will be considering him in lineups. I don't think I get to him a lot with some of these other value plays or cheaper options, but he is someone I'll be looking at and someone I know definitely has the upside. He's still only 24 years old. He's very young, and he has a lot of upside, man. So valuable trade asset and everything. So they're gonna want to get Jabari Parker going if they even want to trade him. They're gonna want him to get meaningful minutes, produce meaningful stats, and then trade his ass. So he's someone I'm looking to, someone I know that's going to be getting minutes off the bench regardless, and nothing wrong with that. Other than that, no one I'm really too high on. Vince Carter, Evan Turner might get some additional minutes, but honestly I'm not too keen on them. They are minimum price, and Vince Carter in particular could get it done for you, but not really too excited about any of that. On the Denver Nuggets to New Orleans game, Jamal Murray has yet to really fulfill his value yet. He hasn't had a good game close to his ceiling, but he's in a good spot here against a fast-paced New Orleans team that may or may not have Drew Holiday and Derek Favors. Jamal Murray should be in a smash spot here, in my opinion. His ownership is going to be low as a point guard compared to some of the other guards up on the board. I like him because of that. He's not priced unreasonable. This is a relatively fair price for him. He's getting a good amount of usage when he's on the court. And he's shown that he's someone that can assist the ball. He'll go out there and be very competitive, nitty-gritty type of guy. He's going to get in your face. And he's someone I just genuinely respect as a player. He's 22 years old. He's gone with the best face-to-face. He's not scared of the moment. So he's due for a game so far this season. He hasn't had a really, really great game. They've been mediocre or decent, but not super great, nothing too great. So I'm expecting a good game from a Jamal Murray. Jokic, always in play. Jokic, 10K. It's a 3-game slate, so of course Jokic's in play. I'll be playing Jokic. I don't know how much I get to him, but I could say 50% is a reasonable number for me. I could see myself getting the 50% Jokic. The matchup is not great. I mean, there's no one really that's going to be able to stop him. He has a lot of upside. Definitely could get it done. 10K, triple-double threat. Be playing a lot of Nikola Jokic. And then between Gary Harris, Will Barton, and Paul Millsap, all three of these guys are starter guys. Will Barton comes off the bench, but he closes the games and close games. All of these guys are $5,000 to $5,300 DraftKings dollars. Any one of these three guys could get it done tomorrow. My particular favorite will be Will Barton, but I don't mind getting to Gary Harris or Paul Millsap. This is a very stackable game in my opinion. The players are priced reasonably well for a stack, and the pace of the game is really, really good. So definitely a game that I could see myself stacking. Aside from these top 5 guys that are starting, Jeremy Grant's going to be the other guy I'm going to be looking at. He's essentially the 6th man, their major trade acquisition in the offseason this year. He's a good defender and a good shooter for the 3. and he's someone that they're going to be turning to more and more as the season progresses. He's still integrating himself into the offense, but he's someone that's going to be playing a key role for the Denver Nuggets going forward. He's definitely going to be getting minutes on a nightly basis, and someone that's a relatively safe play for the amount of production you can get out of him for this price. The guys that do end up starting over Will Barton are either Malik Beasley or Torrey Craig. Both of these guys burned every single person that owned them the past game. They had duds, both of them. They're almost minimum price still. They do see a good amount of minutes. So if they're going to be seeing a good amount of minutes and Denver doesn't really make this a competitive game and blows New Orleans out of the gates, then Torrey Craig and Malik Beasley are definitely guys with tremendous upside. These guys have relatively low floors, but they have 30, 40 DraftKings points upside. If they get a good amount of minutes, they can get it done. So definitely in play for me. I'll be looking at them. And then Mason Plumlee is only in play for me if Jokic gets into foul trouble or the game blows out, which is really hard to predict, which is really why I don't really get to Mason Plumlee all that much. At 3,400, he has a reasonable amount of chance to do well, but I mean, if Jokic's not going to be in foul trouble or if it's not going to be a blowout and Jokic's going to play his 32 plus minutes, then there's not much minutes for Mason Plumlee to grab here and be productive, in my opinion. The matchup is great, though, for sure, so there's that going in his favor, but I only really like him if Jokic's in foul trouble or there's a blowout. On the New Orleans side, Jrue Holiday, if he's out or if he's in, I do not like him. The Denver Nuggets have shown that they've been able to shut down opposing point guards to a good degree. They just did so as recently as with Luka Doncic. Sorry, I don't know what the hell is wrong with my throat. But the only person that really went off against the Denver Nuggets that was a point guard was Damian Lillard to start the season. Damian Lillard, of course, got to play against the Nuggets 6 times in a row in the playoffs last year, so he was very familiar with the way they run things and their offense and their players in general. So he worked his way around them. But for some of these guys who don't play them all that often, it's going to be tough for them, and Denver has shown that they do a good job limiting the opposing guard. So Jrue Holiday is the opposing guard, so I don't like him. I don't like Lonzo Ball if Jrue Holiday doesn't play. However, if Jrue Holiday does play, I don't mind Lonzo. That means that Gary Harris is mostly going to be focusing on Jrue Holiday, and Lonzo Ball would have an easier matchup with Jamal Murray, who's also a decent defender, but not as good as a defender as Gary Harris. The guy I really, really like on New Orleans is Brandon Ingram, who's going to be going off continually as long as Zion is out and Jrue Holiday is out. Brandon Ingram should be getting a lot of usage, a lot of run, a lot of minutes. The price is relatively fair for the amount of usage and run he's getting and the ceiling he has. The matchup is not overly horrible for him. He still should be in a spot where he can smash. He's shown that he's fearless. Nothing's really been able to slow him down so far this season. He's averaging 52 DraftKings points on the season. So he's someone that's definitely in play for me. Aside from him, Kenrich Williams, the only other guy I really care about on this team confidently. He's been playing a good amount of minutes, way more minutes than Jahlil Okafor, who's been averaging 11 minutes, 12 minutes a game. Really someone I will never understand why people play Jahlil Okafor. Alvin Gentry is just a dumbass, and he just doesn't play Okafor minutes. And what the reason is, I've never really been able to understand. But Okafor starts the game, plays 11 minutes, and then we never see him again. And I'm not playing Okafor. I don't care if he does good or does bad. I don't care. But I'll be going with Kenrich Williams. I'll be going with Josh Hart, guys like that over Jahlil Okafor, just because of the minutes, and at least I know they're going to be on the court, man. The only other guy I'll be considering here, and I just lightly touched on Josh Hart, who has been very consistent. If Jrue Holiday's out, Josh Hart is definitely in play. JJ Redick, if his shot's falling, sure, he could be in play. He's priced reasonably well, which makes him interesting at 4,200. If his shot's falling, definitely he can smash value, but if it's going to fall, that's the thing. He's a defensive liability, so there's that. The only other guy I'd be thinking about is Jackson Hayes, and I have him in orange here because I don't exactly know what the reason was that he got 24 minutes last game. I think he was dealing with something that was holding him back from getting a start. But if this is any indication of how much minutes he's going to be playing on a nightly basis, then sign me up. 3,500 for this guy. In preseason, he was really, really awesome. I love what I've seen from him. I loved hearing him in interviews. He has a real charismatic, confident vibe about him. So he's someone I really like, and I wouldn't mind considering as a risky play tomorrow if we get word that he is going to play. Okay, last game of the slate, the San Antonio Spurs versus the Clippers. Things people got to realize here is the Spurs don't play as slowly as they have in the past. they're a lot faster now. And with DeJounte Murray leading the forefront, they play at a tremendous pace. I think the 6th fastest in the league so far. So the Spurs are someone that a lot of people have been sleeping on so far to start the year, but they've been really good low-key. DeJounte Murray, of course, has been leading the charge, but he's on a minutes restricted, so he's lineup restricted for me. Once his minutes starts to tick upwards to 28 plus, then I'll be really, really interested in him. But what's really keen to notice here is that in 23 minutes, he's averaging the second most 2 fantasy points behind LaMarcus Aldridge in production. He's been very, very productive in limited minutes. At 6K, if he gets 38, you'll be happy. But it's hard and it's tough, especially in the matchup against the Clippers. We're definitely going to try and slow him down. So I don't like DeJounte Murray tomorrow. I might consider him if we get any news about anybody else being out. But as it stands, he won't be in like a lot of my lineups. He'll be in very few, very limited. My favorite play on the San Antonio Spurs is a cheap guy by the name of Bryn Forbes. This guy's really come into his own now, and he's the starting shooting guard for this team. He's been playing really, really well. He's been getting 32 minutes per game pretty much. And he costs 4,100 right now, averaging 26.33 DraftKings points. That's 6.42 value based on the price. The matchup is not that bad. In my opinion, it's a pretty decent matchup against a team that can give up points to the opposition at certain points. The Clippers aren't that great of a defensive team yet. They're still trying to figure it out. The Clippers are one of the few teams that are running like almost 15 people offenses because of the injuries and people that don't play on a night in and night out basis. So they have a lot of guys here that they've been experimenting with. They still haven't really come in a set in stone rotation. Like they have, but they're still trying to figure the kinks out and stuff. Which is why some of these Spurs players could be in play here. DeMar DeRozan, LaMarcus Aldridge, both these guys are in play for me. They're priced at a reasonable price where they're interesting, 72 and 7,100 as opposed to the usual 8K that they are. These are reasonable prices for guys with so much upside and usage on the team. Both of these guys are getting upwards of 25 to 28% usage on the court when they're on the court. Combined with the fact that the offense is mostly going to have to go through these two guys tomorrow when DeJounte Murray is not on the court. I kind of like both DeMar and LaMarcus. My guy to go to would be DeMar here. He has more upside in my opinion. LaMarcus Aldridge should have his hands full with Zubac and Montrezl Harrell. And Zubac was probably going to be seeing a little bit more minutes tomorrow as well. But I'll get to that in a bit. Rudy Gay is the one guy I probably won't be playing as much because of his minutes. He's not getting nearly as much minutes as he should, and he's no longer starting. Trey Lyles is in the starting rotation, but Trey Lyles himself didn't really do much the last game he started. It was kind of underwhelming for the amount of minutes he played, but he does play a lot of minutes. He played 28 minutes last game or 24 minutes last game, and there is potential at this price for him to do well. So he's someone that's a light consideration, but not someone I'll be too high on. Derek White showed last game that he's still Derek White of last year, that he's going to be able to give them, the Spurs, the kind of production they need off the bench that he was able to give them last year starting. Of course, he's not going to be starting with DeJounte Murray back, but Derek White is just a really good play in general. Not a really good play, sorry, he's a really good player in general, and if he's given opportunity to perform, then he could definitely do good. Jakob Poeltl is another guy I'll be slightly looking at, basically because I think he's going to be getting a little bit more minutes than he usually does. He gets around 14 minutes per game, but I think this could be around 18 to 19 minutes tomorrow. The price is really good for him. The matchup dictates Jakob Poeltl. They're going to need his size and strength to match up with some of these longer, taller Clippers players. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me on the Spurs side. Bryn Forbes, DeMarcus, and LaMarcus. I keep calling him DeMarcus. Bryn Forbes, DeMarcus DeRozan, and Jakob Poeltl are my favorite guys on the Spurs. On to the Clippers. I'm not really too interested in Beverly. He's basically doing what Pat Beverly does. He has upside for 40 points, but it's relatively not going to happen on most nights. Most nights you're going to get 20 DraftKings points or something similar to that. So that's pretty much what I've expected at 5K. That's not what I want. He does get a lot of minutes, but that's not what I want. Landry Shamet, look, this guy's been playing terrible so far this season, but he's bound to have a good game. He's not that bad of a shooter. He's going to have a good game sooner or later. 4,500, yeah, it's a little steep, but for the amount of minutes he's getting and the opportunity he has today, sign me up. I wouldn't mind going with Landry Shamet. He's definitely going to be in consideration for me. Favorite play on the Clippers is Kawhi Leonard. 9,500 is a little too cheap in my opinion for a 3-game slate and the amount of usage and upside he has. He's now assisting at a high rate too, so now he's a triple-double threat if you think about it, because he could get you the boards and and the points before. Now it's the assists too. He can get you double-digit assists. So he's assisting 49% of the team's assists. So when he's on the court, so that's a lot. He's a playmaking guy now. So he's a jack of all trades now. He's added that to his game as well. So Kawhi Leonard is one of my favorite plays tomorrow. Aside from that, Ivica Zubac, as I said, he should be seeing a little bit more minutes tomorrow, in my opinion, and someone that could smash in limited minutes. So he's in consideration. J. Michael Green, Montrezl Williams, and Lou Williams. All three of these guys are the bench mob, basically. Montrezl Harrell and Lou Williams have been playing together for years. They were together on the Houston Rockets, and then they got traded over to the Clippers. So they've been playing together off the bench for years. They have really, really good chemistry. It really shows when they're on the court. And J. Michael Green's the other guy that integrated himself into the bench mob last year. He was the main reason why the Clippers were really successful against the Golden State Warriors, at least the 2 games they won, because of J. Michael Green, Montrezl Harrell, and Lou Williams. All three of these guys are getting consideration from me. J. Michael Green at 3,300. His minutes are going to be a little bit lower with all these other guys in the mix, but he's someone that could definitely go out there and smash in his limited amount of minutes. Montrezl Harrell, Lou Williams, we know what they're all about. Those guys go out there and they're real professionals off the bench. They're essentially starters coming off the bench. It's the second unit, but it's almost as good as the first unit. So these guys, you know what they can do. Their price is relatively good. Their usage is good. Their minutes are good. The matchup is good, so they're going to be in play for me tomorrow. The only other guy I'll mention here is Maurice Harkless, because I'm going to be Harkless tomorrow. He burned me last night. Him and Shamit, between the two, I don't know which one was the bigger donkey of the day. I think it would go with Harkless, but they're both equally bad, so Harkless is dead to me for this slate. But 3,500 for you guys. Harkless is someone that could go out there in 20 minutes and do decently well. He just had a really bad game yesterday, and I don't blame him. Utah is a little bit of a tougher defensive team than the San Antonio Spurs are now. The Spurs historically have been a really good defensive team, but now they're just playing at a very, very fast pace, which allows for a lot of opportunity for other guys. J. Michael Green is one of the older guys on this team, and maybe he's arrested here a little bit. Maybe Mo Harkless and Landry Shamet are given more of a run. That's a very big possibility. So keep an eye on the news for that. But aside from that, guys, that's it for today's video. These are my favorite plays in general. Kendrick Nunn, Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, I really like. John Collins, DeAndre Bembry, I really like. Murray, Barton, Harris, Millsap, Jokic, I really like. Ingram, Kenrich Williams, I really like. Bryn Forbes, LaMarcus, DeMar, I like. And Kawhi Leonard, J. Michael Green, Montrezl Harrell, Lou Williams, I like. A lot of these other guys in yellow are considerations. Dragic, Hero are pretty favorable considerations. I'm not going to be fading them. I'll be considering them in a good amount of lineups. Mario Leonard is going to make some of my lineups. Not a lot, but definitely some of them for his cheap price and the minutes he's getting. Jabari Parker, if DeAndre Hunter is in or out, I still like Jabari Parker, but I like him a lot more if Hunter is out. And then Malik Beasley, Torrey Craig, both of these guys are cheap value plays in my opinion that are risky, but they can get it done. If they get it done, you'll be very, very happy. And then over here, Josh Hart is someone that I'm going to be looking to, but the price is kind of getting up there now. And Jackson Hayes, if I find out exactly why he started, what the reason was, and if it's going to happen again, definitely in play for me, even against Denver. I do not care. He has a lot of upside. I'm willing to roll the dice there. And then on the Heat side, or the Spurs and Clippers game, Ivica Zubac is someone I'd consider. Shamet, I feel Shamet's due for a good game, so it's coming. It's one of these days. It's coming. But yeah, that's it, guys. That's it for today's video. Who's your favorite play? Let me know who you guys are going with. Is it Kendrick Nunn, Dragic, or Hero? Out of the three, who do you like? Personally, I like Nunn. And out of the three guys, Gary Harris, Will Barton, or Paul Millsap, who do you like? Personally, I like Will Barton, but I can make a reasonable argument for the other two guys as well. So let me know who you guys like. Again, if you're new here, if you liked anything I had to say, please drop a subscribe, press the red button. I don't care about the bell, but if you want to press the bell too for notifications, do that. It's the only thing that helps me grow. It's the only thing that keeps me motivated. Seeing subscriptions go up, seeing comments, people interacting. I love interacting with people. I love helping people out, and I'm trying to build a community here, guys. I got a good couple of people that are here in and day out, messaging me on Twitter, posting comments. Hopefully we get a Discord going. Maybe we can just chat it up during game times, and it's fun to sweat together. I remember sweating together earlier on a couple of years ago with a couple of my friends. So maybe we can set that up and we could all join in a voice chat and just watch the games together and get angry at injuries and stuff. But yeah, guys, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate everybody that's been tuning in. Thank you very much for all the support. And best of luck tonight, guys. See you tomorrow for the giant slate. Good luck. Take care. Bye-bye.